Hey guys, and welcome back to the CFC Chat YouTube channel. I'm your host Ameya, and today we are going to be previewing the Crystal Palace game. Now, this is of course a very important fixture and our first fixture in the Premier League since we lost 5-2 at West Brom last week. And following that, we of course have had a very impressive victory against Porto in the Champions League, although the game wasn't our best game under Thomas Tuchel by a huge margin, but we were still able to get a 2-0 win out of that. And of course it counts as an away win, although it was held at a neutral venue. That means that Porto are going to have to score a minimum of 3 goals in the reverse fixture, so it puts us in a very good position ahead of hopefully getting further into the competition, maybe the semi-finals, maybe the finals, who knows. But what I'm going to talk about today is, of course, the Premier League. Now, the race for top 4 gets closer and closer every single season. I think the season under Sarri in 2018-19, we just about nicked 3rd place. And then last season under Frank Lampard, we just about nicked 4th place. And both of the seasons we were very close to missing out, but we did manage to get into the top 4 come the end of the season. But this season, it's a lot more than just 3 or 4 teams. I think so many teams are going to fight for that elusive Champions League spot. I think even 3rd place could come into play, which I will be talking about later. But if you look at the number of teams in that mix, I think there are so many teams. I think apart from the Manchester clubs who have probably secured top 4, I don't think anyone below them has secured top 4 yet. And I think all the way till 8th from 3rd, I think every single team there has a chance of making top 4, and our players' mentality could be the difference between hearing the UEFA Champions League anthem at Stamford Bridge next season or not having European football at all for the first time since the 2015-16 season where we finished 10th. So I think these few games are going to be very crucial for us, especially after the loss at West Brom, because we do have so many tough games in the later stages of the season. We have Manchester City left at the Etihad, we have Leicester coming to Stamford Bridge, we have Arsenal coming to Stamford Bridge, and we are yet to visit West Ham in the London Stadium. So we have a lot of tough fixtures up ahead in just 8 or 9 game weeks left until the end of the season now. So we really have to be picking up wins. I think many people expected West Brom to be a win, which unfortunately wasn't the case. So that puts us in a further tougher position, especially because West Ham's victory at Wolves lifted them above us, and we dropped out of the top 4 for the first time in a very long period of time actually. And we've been kicked out of the top 4 by our London rivals West Ham, who are just 1 point ahead of us. And this game is so important. Our game against Crystal Palace is so important, mainly because West Ham go to 3rd placed Leicester, or I think it's the other way around. Leicester go to West Ham, and a favourable result there could see the race for 3rd be wide open as well, which is why I mentioned earlier that 3rd to 8th, I don't think it's predictable at all. Anyone can get those 2 spots, but it is our job to be at our best and strive to be among one of those 2 teams. Now, talking about our opponents for this week, of course, Crystal Palace. There's a side which isn't normally threatened by relegation, but aren't one of those sides to be competing for European football either. I think they're just sort of that classic mid-table side under Roy Hodgson, and he's done an excellent job there, don't get me wrong, but they don't seem like an ambitious club as of yet to me. And looking into their players' availability this weekend, they will be missing Michy Batshuayi, who scored the late equaliser against Everton last time out, which helped us out a lot in the race for Champions League football next season. And apart from that, I think they are still going to be missing James Tompkins, and Mamadou Sakho is what Roy Hodgson mentioned. I think James McCarthy is going to be back in the squad, but James McArthur is still going to be out for this game. So it could be really interesting to see the lineup. Of course, I think we will be paid a visit by our former player Gary Cahill, who was a club legend for us here, won all the trophies he could possibly win, and did depart last season. So I think we're in a pretty good spot at the moment, except for that freak result against West Brom. And I think ideally we should be seeing this through. If we deserve to be in top four, I think we have to win this game without a shadow of doubt. But Crystal Palace are not going to be any pushovers. They of course have the X factor in Wilfried Zaha, who's caused some problems for us in the past, and he does have that skillful ability to him to cause our defenders problems. And Crystal Palace have actually kept 3 clean sheets in a row there against Fulham and then Manchester United, and most recently a 1-0 win over West Brom. So they are going to be a solid side defensively, and they're going to be very resilient, and they're going to hit us on the counter with the likes of Eze, Jordan Ayew and Wilfried Zaha. So I think it's not going to be an easy job by any means. But if we are a serious club, if we want to finish in that Champions League spot, then I think that we should be getting the win in this game without too much hassle. Will that happen? We're going to have to wait and see, because breaking down these resilient defenses hasn't exactly been our strong suit. But I think that's probably it for me talking about the game. I'll just quickly finish off with my predicted lineups as well as my match prediction, and then we can finish this video off. So talking about the players who are going to start for me, I think in goal Mendy, without a doubt, put in another great shift in the Champions League. And then in front of him, the 3 defenders, I would probably have Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger. I think Thiago Silva did come on for the last few minutes against Porto, and I think he needs another start to probably regain his fitness, or he might be relegated to the bench and brought on probably around the 60th minute mark or so for Christensen if Thomas Tuchel thinks that he's not match fit, not ready to play the entire 90 minutes just yet. And I think in midfield, I would probably go with Kante and Kovacic for this one. Jorginho and Kovacic had a pretty decent game midweek, and but I think N'Golo Kante is just such an important player to this side, and he's going to be so important to break down those counter attacks. The pace of Zaha, the pace of Eberechi Eze, I think he's going to be so crucial to prevent the ball from reaching them or getting them off the ball, basically, which is something he does better than Jorginho. So I think I would play a Kante Kovacic pivot. Alongside them, once again, I'm going to go for Hudson-Odoi at right wing back. Hopefully we can pressurize Crystal Palace a little bit more on the attack. Reece James has been absolutely excellent, don't get me wrong. I love Reece James, but I just think that we'd probably go with a slightly more attacking mindset in this game to break down a resilient defense like Crystal Palace. So I would go Hudson-Odoi on the right, Alonso on the left, which I think is very probable because Ben Chilwell, of course, played the full 90 against Porto and will likely play the full 90 in our reverse fixture against Porto as well. So I think Reece James Chilwell could play the right wing back and left wing back role against Porto in the second leg, which is why I've gone with Hudson-Odoi and Alonso as the fullbacks. And up front, I'm going to go on the left, I'm going to go Pulisic because Hudson-Odoi is already in that wing back position. Right, I'm going to go with Hakim Ziyech, and to lead the line, I really want to say Tammy Abraham. I really do. So I'm going to say it because it's probably not going to be true especially after Thomas Tuchel's comments today earlier in the press conference on how, he mentioned Tammy Abraham in the same sentence as Kepa, which is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit concerning to me, but it is what it is. It's the manager's choice at the end of the day. So I've gone with Tammy in the lineup, but I don't think that's probable, but we shall see tomorrow. So that's my lineup, guys. I'm going to go Mendy, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, Hudson-Odoi, Kante, Kovacic, Alonso, Pulisic, Ziyech and Tammy Abraham. And my prediction, which hopefully does come true, is I'm going to go for a 2... a 2-0 win. I'm being a little bit bold here, but we have been good with our clean sheet record, and our attack isn't blistering per se. So I think 2 goals is probably a pretty good result, as long as we get the 3 points, because that is imperative, especially with West Ham playing Leicester this weekend. I think we absolutely cannot be dropping points, along with Liverpool playing the game earlier. So I think if they do get the win in that game, which I think they will leapfrog us before we have even kicked the ball. So I think we have to win this game today. So I mean tomorrow, sorry, of course. We have to win this game. And I guess that's it, guys. Up to Chelsea. Leave a like, subscribe if you like the content. It never hurts us. And of course, leave a comment on your thoughts below. And until next time, see you guys.